and also the Giants, regardless of record, they're fun to watch.
Offensively, just don't make that bad turnover.
This is, I think, a scary matchup for the Colts.
I think they're quite propped up by their schedule.
Drake Maye, MVP candidate? Hello and welcome to Ain't That Our Ball. Hope you enjoyed the Thanksgiving matchups, but there's still plenty of football to be played this weekend. I'm David Scott. Alongside me is NFL expert Ryan Sanudo. Ryan, how you feeling?
Feeling okay. I like these games that we've got to talk about. Let's get into it.
We're going to look at the top seed in the AFC versus the bottom seed in the NFC. We're looking at the New England Patriots versus the New York Giants. Interesting matchup to pick here, I know, but we haven't talked much about the Patriots. And also the Giants, regardless of record, they're fun to watch.
We outside, but we inside. Come on. We outside, but we inside. Come on.
I like the guys on the Giants. They almost beat the Lions last week. As we know, they don't know how to finish games. And the Patriots are still just rolling along. Seems pretty easy to figure out who's going to win this one.
Oh, the Patriots, they haven't lost since September. I mean, it goes without saying that they should win this game. And the Giants, they fired the defensive coordinator, Shane Bowen, finally. So you might get like a better effort in this game, I think, especially that it's now a Monday Night Football game, so you have an extra day to rest. But the Patriots offense, like the thing is with New England that they have bad starts to games. Like they're very slow, and then second quarter on, they just pick things up. So I think you'll see it in this type of game where the Giants surprise people like they have been. You know, they've gotten leads early. But again, the Patriots always find a way in the second quarter on. So the Patriots should win this game. But the Giants, like you said, they're entertaining to watch on offense. Defensively, different story.
Yeah, I think the biggest question mark going into this game is who are we going to see at quarterback for the Giants? Jackson Dart still has not come back from that concussion. I think they might keep playing it safe. You know, they've already lost a couple of their young stars for the season. They don't want to do anything to really negatively impact Dart for the long term. So possible Jameis Winston is back out there again, but as you said, long week, so they might be able to rest him a bit longer and put Jackson Dart back in there for this game. I think regardless of who's out there, the Patriots have a really good pass defense, and that's probably going to be what is highlighted most in this game. Probably a couple turnovers.
By Jameis.
Jameis loves throwing those. But, I mean, Jameis had a fantastic
he looked
game
good
against the Lions. He had some really fun plays. He caught a touchdown.
Oh.
It's always fun watching Jameis play. But I think this could be a point where they kind of run into a brick wall.
That, and also, I think Jackson Dart, just rest him another week. You have the bye the following week, so maybe you bring back Dart the following, once they come off the bye. Give Jameis one more start. Hey, why not? He's been entertaining to watch.
And they're eliminated now.
They're eliminated, the first team to be eliminated. So I think Jameis Winston, you put him out there, and he's gonna get some success, here and there. But the Patriots defense, second halves, they dominate their opponents. And I think the Patriots offense doesn't have to do too much at times at the end of games. So the Patriots defense can dictate things. And I think, just with the limited options the Giants have. Yes, you have Theo Johnson, who's been better. The run game, Tyrone Tracy's nothing to write home about, really. So they do have their limited options, and they find ways. But I think Patriots overall, they just have it top to bottom on the roster compared to New York.
I do have a question for you about the Patriots, which is there's been a lot of talk about their schedule. They certainly haven't played the toughest opponents. They have a nice win over the Bills, they have a nice win over the Buccaneers. They play playing a lot of teams like the Giants. So my question to you is, do you believe that the Patriots are legit at 10-2, or do you think they're quite propped up by their schedule?
I think they're quite propped up by their schedule. Look, I think they have a good roster, but 10-2, I don't know about that one. So I think it's been a while since we keep talking about that Bills game. That was quite a while ago. I think it was almost 2 months ago. And the Bucs game, that was like a month plus ago. Every week I just see them playing the Bengals, the Giants, the Jets. So there's all these games that they're playing, and they're these teams that are just going to be in the top 10 in the NFL draft. At the same time, I'll give them credit. They do have a good roster, but 10-2, I feel like they're more of like an 8-win type team. I think next year you're going to see a team that can be like that number one. First of all, they are in the first seed right now, but I think it's propped up by their schedule. I don't know if you agree. I think that schedule, it looked really easy entering the season. I think it's a lot easier right now.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I think they're still a good team, and we'll see how they perform once they get into the playoffs. But right now, I don't feel too spectacular about them. I will ask about their nice young quarterback, Drake Maye. MVP candidate?
I think he is. Hey, I have Stafford as my MVP right now, but that goes without saying. Look at his stats. You don't have to argue too much about that one.
10 episodes.
But then other than that, yes, you have Josh Allen, who's actually been a lot better now, so he's in that conversation now. But Drake Maye, he's not too far back. I think he's top 3, top 4, when it comes to MVP favorites. So I just think that he did have that bad interception against the Bengals, but other than that, he looked good. So and every game he's looked good. So I give a lot of credit to Drake Maye. The reason that they're 10-2 is because of Drake Maye and Mike Vrabel and that defense. So they've all come together as a whole, and I like Drake Maye. But let's be honest, that 10-2 record, I think they're more like an 8-win team than a 10-win team right now.
Well, we'll see if Maye bolsters his MVP candidacy a little bit more against a weaker Giants squad. But the Houston Texans versus the Indianapolis Colts. Texans, that defense, boy, it looks scary. Colts coming off a tight loss to the Chiefs. This is a really exciting divisional matchup.
Texans-Colts in this matchup, I feel like a couple weeks ago we were probably thinking about this matchup, but now they've been racking up wins, the Texans. They beat the Buffalo Bills on Thursday Night Football. So this is such a great matchup. The Texans need this win more. Obviously, they have 6 wins compared to the Colts' 8. But just like that, just 2 games, difference between the 2 teams. So the Colts lose this game, it's just going to be 1 game between the 2. So, and the Colts, I know it's this year, but they've had a history of, blowing it towards the late of the season. So I think this is such a great game. The Texas defense, like you said, is just great. They sacked Josh Allen 8 times, and Allen can move. So Daniel Jones can move too, but all it takes is that pressure, and there's nothing you can really do.
Yeah. Jones was held in check against the Chiefs defense, and the Chiefs defense, great unit, not the same caliber that we've seen of the Houston Texans. If they can keep that insane pressure that they put on Josh Allen on Daniel Jones, I see no way that this Colts offense operates. They were held in check on the run game. The passing game wasn't quite there. They had a good first half, but then were stymied in the whole second half. So the Texans offense is like not that much to scoff at either. Davis Mills is in there doing just fine. He just beat the Bills. So this is, I think, a scary matchup for the Colts. You can't look past this one. You have to just totally clue in on this, because if you lose focus a little bit in this game, the Colts are going to come out, they're going to punch you in the mouth. And if C.J. Stroud is back, that's even more to be scared of.
And Daniel Jones hasn't faced a D'Amico Ryans defense yet, so that's a major challenge for him. Just all those guys on that defense, Stingley, Anderson, Hunter. So there's so many guys on that defense that can just change the whole game. I feel like they're almost like the Broncos in a way, the Texans. They rely on that defense, and if they spark something early, they maybe a turnover by Jones. We see a Jones from the Giants version in this game. I could see the Texans pulling off this upset. Actually, you know what? I think they're going to win this game, the Texans.
Yeah.
6-5. I've been, having too many favorites as winners. I think this is finally, an underdog that can find a way. On the road, Colts, Texans, the Texans have found ways to win against the Colts.
Yeah, it certainly would have massive playoff implications if this goes to the Texans. They win closer to the Colts. The Colts step further away from that 1 seed. I'm going to talk about why I think the Colts could win this game, or maybe should win this game. You're not going to see Jonathan Taylor have the same performance he had from last week. Sure, that defensive front from the Texans is terrifying, and I would never want to be faced up against it, but Jonathan Taylor is not going to have a 60, 70-yard game in back-to-back weeks. He's not going to let that happen. I think he probably is going to explode in this game. Is it going to be enough to offset maybe that strong Texans defensive back group? Don't know. But I think if the Colts want to find a win in this game, they're going to have to get Jonathan Taylor going much more than he did in the last game, which means just feed him. 30 touches, maybe more. Just give the ball to Jonathan Taylor and let him run rampant.
And I think it's so crucial for the Colts to win games, because if they don't, it means that Taylor didn't have a good game. I mean, each game, Taylor had less than 75 rushing yards. So if they lose this game, it's most likely going to happen just like the Chiefs and other games that they lost. The Steelers game too. And I think for the Texans' sake, offensively, just don't make that bad turnover. Like Davis Mills, it can have that potential to do that. And that offense can be, very anemic at times too. Nico Collins hasn't been the same guy as he was last year because of, I think, the quarterback situation and the offensive line. So there are some concerns I have with the Houston Texans offense, but I think it all comes down to, it's going to be a low-scoring game. So that's what's going to play to the Texans' advantage. They don't have to score too many points.
That's going to do it for today's episode of Ain't That Our Ball. You can catch us every Thursday, and every Monday you can watch our tactics show, X's and O's. Please leave a like and subscribe, and let us know if you think Drake Maye is an MVP candidate.